Hi, I'm Vaune Pierce for Smocking Arts Guild of America. Join me today as I show you how to do the closed blanket stitch, also known as cut work. So cut work, or a closed blanket stitch, is often used as a finishing stitch for the edges of different areas of your garment. You can see here where it's been stitched and then the excess fabric has been trimmed away. So the first thing to do is to pad your design, and you're going to bring your needle in and out about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge in the middle, and then right on the edge of the design you are going to pick up one thread at a time. You're going to start on the top of the design and outline, picking up one thread at a time, and then you're going to come down on the bottom side picking up one thread at a time. And what one thread at a time does is it gives you more thread on the top side of your fabric to pad. If you're taking a stitch every 1/4 of an inch and you're picking up 2 or 3 or 4 threads, then a lot of your padding thread is going to be on the wrong side of your fabric, and you'll be able to tell when you start actually stitching that there's a difference in the padding. So once you've come back to the beginning, you're going to start your stitch. And this is a looped stitch. So your thread is going to be looped underneath, and when you bring your needle in at the top and out at the bottom, right in and out at the padding stitch, you want to make sure that the thread is kept underneath the needle to make the little pearl at the bottom. And I'm going to continue at the top because I want you to see how to finish this and then how we trim away at the end. So when you're doing the closed blanket stitch, you want to put your needle in at the top, out at the bottom, and make sure that your thread stays underneath the needle. And you want to pull so that it's taut but not tight. Keeping your thread and your fabric over your finger will help you accomplish this. Oftentimes, this stitch is mistakenly called the buttonhole stitch. And the buttonhole stitch has a purl, but its purl is knotted and it's purled in a different direction. So it is different than the closed blanket stitch. Again, put your needle in at the top, out at the bottom, pull so that your thread is taut but not tight. When you finish pulling, you want the fabric beneath the thread to lay flat. You don't want it scrunched up. I'm going to take a few more stitches here, and then as we get to the end, to finish, I'm going to go around this curve a little bit. You have to have a finishing stitch so that that last little pearl stays laying down against the fabric. As you go along the edge, each new stitch holds down the prior stitch, but on your last stitch, you can see that last pearl pop up, and all you have to do is take your needle and put it in at a slant right below that pearl, and that will anchor that down. On the wrong side, you're going to take your needle and you're going to weave it through the stitches, and then clip it off. And then on the front side, this would be at the edge of a collar or a sleeve. What you're going to do is you're going to take a pair of scissors that has a really fine blade, and you're going to cut away the fabric, but you're not going to cut it straight. You want to hold your scissors at an angle, and you want the blade to fit up underneath that purl. And you do just a little bit at a time. And you need to make sure that you're using scissors that have a thin blade so that they can fit right underneath the purl without cutting the thread. And there you have a closed blanket stitch. Thank you for joining me in Smocking Arts Guild of America as we explored cut work or the closed blanket stitch.